Mhm. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for this week's live stream. Today we have ourselves a double header. We're going to be doing one this morning at 11 EDT, and we're going to be doing another one a little bit later on tonight. That's going to be 7 EDT for those of you who like to get a slightly different kind of flight. So for today, we are sitting here in the beautiful Bahamas. I'll be talking a little bit about some of the different locations here. For those of you who are interested in joining us, we're sitting here. This is called Stanley Cay. That took me, it's not actually K, it's a key. It took me forever to realize it's pronounced that way, but I had to actually travel out here to find out. It is indeed CAY is the word key. The airport location for that would be Mike Yankee X-Ray Alpha. So what we intend to do today is do isle hopping down the entire island chain here, doing a touch and goes at each of the major locations. I feel very sorry for the chap over there in the Cessna 208. I tried this in the 208, and it's kind of hard, I'm not going to lie, because some of these runways are tremendously short. So you definitely want to get something that's not going to have any difficulties with these short runways. Total time today is going to be right about, I think it's about 40 minutes as far as flight time, so it should be pretty good. All right, let's do it to it. So first things first, we got this thing. We're in a virus today. I would call it a virus about 1,000 times until I talk to somebody who actually flies these things. And they're like, no, it's pronounced virus. Just like the other one is sinus, which is a shame for me because I should probably know how to pronounce things before I get in them. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. It's a pretty easy plane to fly. I was going to take the VL3 today. And like I said, I tried it in the 208, which is what I really wanted to try this in, but that just was not going to go. A couple folks are mentioning in the chat that they're going to try the Piper 28. I actually have the Carinado Piper. And unfortunately, there's a flat bug on it, which cripples my ability to fly it, which is actually too bad. All right, let's go to it. I love this thing. I love how it has a choke. It's just like, really? A choke on an airplane? Okay. Let's go ahead and get this thing cranking. Full screen optimization in the EXA. Okay, I'm definitely going to check that out. Thanks for the tip. All right, let's go ahead and start the sucker up. Rumble. All right, nice. Go ahead and give it just a little bit of power. This is a Rotax engine. This is one of many aircraft powered by the Rotax. One of these days, they got to give us one of the twin Rotax engine powered airplanes so we can experience that. The great news about this one is it's a controllable pitch propeller, which blows my mind in an aircraft that I'm literally sitting 6 inches off the ground. So that's kind of cool, but we're just going to kind of keep an eye on that on our flight. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves rolling. We're going to assume that our wind is pretty much calm here so that we can take advantage of sort of the nasty things. I see that we have a pretty good collection of folks coming around today. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be fun. All right, let's get our adventure going. So I'm going to go ahead and release the parking brake, give this thing a little bit of gas. We're going to be using flaps for all takeoffs today on account. Ooh, there's a little bit of traffic here. Excuse me, sir. Bonk, bonk. Wonder what an airplane horn would sound like. Like, in my impression, it would probably be like the train horns in England. 2 different pitches. Let me go ahead around here real quick. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. All right, let's get going. Now, this particular Viros, it's actually a really cool plane. There's a lot of neat little tricks to it, and I'll kind of show them off as we're going. I did do a video kind of showing off some of the details of this plane previously, but I've learned more about it, especially since I talked to someone who sells these things, and it's actually kind of cool. For one, we have a speed brake, which blows my mind a little bit in an aircraft this small. All right, going to go ahead and deploy my first notch of flaps. I'm going to go ahead and get in front of this guy. Excuse me, sir. Sorry. Excuse me. All right, give myself a couple pumps of the brakes, line myself over the runway. Let's go ahead and do my before takeoff checks. We have our landing light set. I'm going to leave my landing light on today just to kind of give everybody plenty of warning to know that I'm going to be here. I'm kind of looking out. Everybody's kind of forming up behind me. I'm going to give them a few moments. Looks like we have a great turnout today. This is awesome. I love these flights. We're going to be keeping our altitude pretty low today. Obviously, we're not going to be skimming the ocean. I mean, I won't be skimming the ocean, but I have a feeling a few of you will, which is awesome. I'll try to say a couple things as we kind of go along the flight, but other than that, this is just looking to be relaxing. This is just looking for a fun opportunity to experience a beautiful set of islands and more touch and goes than you've probably done in a really long time. All right, looking at my clock here, it's 10:59. I always like to start things right on time. Going through one more set of my checks. I love the fuel gauge on this thing, by the way. Let's make sure the speed brake, which is this thing right here, is actually disengaged. Make sure that's out of the way. Good. I'm going to go check my flaps to make sure they're in the right position. Notice I have negative flaps in this aircraft. They're actually called cruise flaps if you take a look in the manual. Looking at my clock, and it is 11. Off we go. And there's a diamond in my way here, but fortunately collision was disabled. Of course, we don't need much speed to get this thing airborne. All right, we are on our way. I'm going to go ahead and do a one gentle circle of the island here, and we're going to kind of get going. Good morning, good afternoon. Now, I was going to play with the setting that YouTube has that basically lowers the latency so I can respond to people quicker, but when I was messing with it, I found that it kills the quality of the video, so that's just something we'd have to figure out. I know quite a few folks do like to check these things out later. Look at that water. Oh, that's so beautiful. I have been to the Caribbean several times. Again, I could probably count it on one hand, not two hands, and we're going to be flying the part of the Caribbean that I usually don't visit. Usually we go a little bit further south, St. Kitts and stuff like that. And of course, when it comes to cricket conversations, you've always got the West Indies teams from down here as well. But we got to go quite a bit further south for some of that. All right, let's do it to it. Now, when I was originally planning these flights, I had thought about doing some of the different island chains around the world. There really are quite a few archipelagos out there. We have some stuff out in Indonesia. We have some stuff on basically the west coast of Thailand. I looked into the Maldives, and I kept having the exact same problem, and also Greece, by the way. I'm setting my RPM, by the way, in case you can't see that right down there. I just got this thing all trimmed out. As long as you're less than 5,500 RPM, you should be fine. And what I was finding when I was doing all those beautiful places is that I couldn't reliably find something that was close enough to get it done in an hour. So the flight for this evening will be using jets in order to facilitate that problem. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't do the Greek Isles either because they're, again, way too far apart. All right, off we go. Oh, just look at that water. It's so beautiful. And the weather here, especially this time of year, this is the end of March in 2021, for those of you who check this out later on, it is perfect. It's like 78-degree water. You get these nice, gentle breezes. Every once in a while, you get a thunderstorm. It's just like, it's heaven on earth. And again, the viewer is here. Since I'm exceeding 100 knots, I can actually use my negative flaps. So go ahead and pop that into the negative flaps position there. And if you're curious what the negative flaps do, basically what's going to happen is, if I look back here, my wing now at negative flaps actually is now perfectly lined up. Let me go hold that from the side so you can see it. If I do normal flaps, as in no flaps, you can see that it's actually pitched up slightly, or pitched down slightly, which gives me a little bit extra lift. It's actually kind of a neat trick. Just don't forget to put them away when you do go to land the plane. All right, let's see how everybody else is doing behind us today. Oh my! That's awesome. Oh, it's so good to see everybody again. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful. I think one of the nice advantages of this flight is the fact that since we're further away from, I should say farther away from everybody, it's going to be a little bit easier as far as lag and all that other kind of stuff is kind of... Again, look at these beautiful little homes. I feel sorry for these places when they get themselves a big nasty hurricane. Again, these are keys, not Ks, and we are at our first runway. All right, let's go ahead and pull the nose up a little bit. I just want everybody to go ahead and take a pretty good look at it. And there's our first runway. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take myself and do an old school military overhead pattern here. So I'm going to pull it nice and tight to the right, and we're basically going to pick a point on the runway and come swinging all the way around till we hit it. There we go. We have our first folks go ahead and pass at me. Again, we're just doing this, trying to use that circular point at the end of the runway called an overhead approach. Normally we wouldn't do this with right turns, but I nearly missed the runway, so I'm going to deal with it. All right, go ahead and pull the thing nice and tight. And this would be the equivalent of our base leg here. These are really, really fun to practice. And there is our runway. Oh, I almost did it perfectly. Go ahead and give us a little bit of a slip. And come on. There it goes. All right, put the flaps back in the correct position. Full power. And that's one down. I think it's a 7 to go. Whoosh. I love those old gravel runways. Solid. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take our right, and we're going to make our way to our next island on our little hop. The whole concept of a hop, I guess, is to do it nice and quickly for each one. All right, good luck, folks. Good luck. I really want to watch the action, though. I don't want to be looking away too much. I'm actually going to flip on the automatic pilot. Yes, an ultralight with an automatic pilot. I couldn't believe it either. Let's see how everybody does. Careful, folks. There's a lot of trees down there. Getting a little bit of chop here. Doesn't surprise me given the sheer number of different liveries are behind me right now. So this is a Veros. This is one of the ones that comes with the deluxe edition of Flight Simulator. It's an ultralight aircraft. Like I said, I actually like it better than the CTSL. I love the carbon fiber, and I also love the fact that it has an autopilot on it if you're doing a really stupid long flight with it. It's also got those nice negative flaps that are really, really fun to play with. I'm actually going to put those on right now. Nice. Let's go ahead and see how everybody's doing behind me. Ooh, feeling a little bit of that chop now. Look at all the lights. This is insanity. I love it. Absolutely love it. Good job, folks. Wait till you see how short the runway is that we're coming up on next. You thought that was easy. Let's go ahead and put this onto the altitude hold mode. Just going to go ahead and pitch the nose over here. There it goes. Nice. I still can't believe this thing has an automatic pilot. It just blows my mind a little bit. All right, checking to make sure my RPM is fine. It's also less than 5,500. The road tax manual says I'm legal. Obviously, we want to stay out of the yellow if we can, but this aircraft is just so aerodynamic. Speaking of which, I don't know if anybody noticed in our last update, but we actually brought in, you can't see it here, but in the main page, you can change the center of gravity of the airplane dynamically now. So you can actually set it so that it's a little bit more compatible with you, or it's a little bit easier to use. All right, swinging this way. Wait until you see how nasty this runway is. That last runway was kind of nice. This thing is tiny. All right, there's our runway. Ah, the lag went away. Good. See it? That's this right here. Oh boy. All right, let's see if we got what it takes. At least now we're doing a left traffic this time. I feel sorry for the person in the Cessna 208 for this one. This is going to be it's going to be involved. All right, slow the plane down nice and slow. Yes, that is a runway, believe it or not. I believe it was a Coast Guard station, if I recall correctly. All right, go ahead and kick the nose over. This is called Leaf Key, in case anybody's curious. Oh, look at those beaches. Oh, man, I'd love to go sailing here. I mean, flying is amazing, but I'd love to do some sailing down here also. Now, I've actually only sailed probably twice in my entire life. It's challenging. It makes you really respect just how wind is so terribly inconsistent. All right, kind of get myself all nice and lined up. Yes, that is a runway. Swing to the left a little bit. This is actually a much more appropriate approach here. I'm only getting bounced around a little bit here. Now, one of the most incredible things about flying in places like this is you can literally smell the salt and you can smell the sea as you come down for landings like this. All right. Oh, that was such a better landing than my last one. All right, full power. And off we go again. Nice. That was sweet. That was like the best one so far, and I've only done 2. I feel sorry for the folks in the bigger planes here. All right, going to go ahead and swing ourselves over to the left nice and gently here. And we're going to bring ourselves back in. Go ahead and check my little notes here. I want to make sure we're going pretty well. We're going to do this is a little bit easier of a landing than we did for the last couple. Again, I'm only going to go up to 500 feet here. This is a much, much more major island. This is called Stanley Cay, in case you're curious. It is basically a north-south runway that you have. There's quite a few resorts and stuff on this particular island. I don't think they have anything crazy, but like this will be the first island we'll see where you'll see things like, paved roads and stuff like that. Again, a lot of the folks out here are basically working in the tourist industry, so they got to have a place to live too. All right, gonna go snap on my automatic pilot real quick, make sure everything's looking okay. This one's a little bit easier to find. It's also a non-grass strip. This is going to be a little bit more comfortable for those folks with the bigger planes today. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enter into a really, really quick snap left pattern, zip this thing around, but you can actually take a look down here at the ground. You've got all the little fishing village right here. You've got yourself somebody sitting there in a diamond already, ready to rock. Very, very absolutely beautiful island. Again, this is called Stanley Cay, for those of you who are curious. And we have an actual, like I said, asphalt this time. You can see everybody's little boat watching the people land. It's so beautiful out here. All right, go ahead and kill it. Bring our aircraft into a nice tight left here. Whoop, I can definitely start to feel everybody looking at me again. I feel sorry for the folks in that other one. Man, that must have been a process. All right, go ahead and get ourselves. We'll fly over this nice again. Imagine putting your little tiny kayak, 5:30 in the morning when the sun is just barely starting to come up. And you are seeing all the little people with all the little tents just kind of relaxing. There's only like 6 cars on the whole island. Oh, it's so amazing. Look at that. Oh, could you just imagine standing on the end of that little pier there, looking into that green water and just like watching, sea turtles and everything kind of going by. You got the little reef sharks and everything just kind of looking at you. It's an amazing feeling. All right, here comes our next landing here, right behind New York Storm 490. Oh, it looks like I've got somebody up on my right-hand side there. That's the FDCT. Not bad, not bad. All right, coming in nice and easy here. Man, I am getting my landings in today. Now, if you bounce the landing, does it count as more than one landing? My flight instructor and I once got in an argument about that. I argued that it wasn't. He said that it was. I said, that's not right. Whoa! Excuse me, sir. All right, bring up my flaps. Give it full power. Again, we're doing touch and goes today. And off we go once more. I feel like I forgot to shut the choke off. Apparently I shut it off a while ago. Because the choke comes off automatically when you push the throttle forward. Nice. All right. So our next flight is going to be a little bit longer of a flight. Again, for everybody who's joining us here, welcome. Whoa, I just got buzzed here. I believe that's a fighter jet. I don't think aircraft with propellers quite had that performance. Well, there are some. I should be a little more open-ended. All right, let's go ahead and make our way south now. We're going to be heading to what they call Black Point. And we're going to go by something called, I believe it is the Bitter Guana Key. All right, get myself nice and level off. Back the power out just a little tiny bit here. Again, you can see the water's gotten considerably deeper here. Those of you who are into bathymetry, which is a word I cannot pronounce properly, it is tremendously deep once you go a few miles out. It's actually really interesting how these islands just kind of boop and poke themselves out of the ocean here. Proceed along this nice long island chain. I see somebody's in a Cessna way off in the distance there. I'll go ahead and flip on the autopilot real quick, just so I can take a look behind me and see how everybody's doing. Yep. Look at behind me. Look at this chaos. I feel sorry for air traffic control in the real world. That'd be pretty nutty. We could do something in a fighter jet. I did pick up the, what is it, the GY91 or something like that. That's pretty neat. And I've seen some people still playing around with the F-15, but I'm like, what do we got that? Oh, that'd be interesting. Definitely, I'd love to do something like in the Middle East or Israel or something like that, with like low-flying fighter jets or something. But it would definitely have to see something that, who's going to be interested in, or who, whoa! Oh, there we go. Who even has the capability to fly some of those aircraft. You can always use the CJ, by the way. That thing has more than enough performance, especially if you disable the circuit breaker responsible for telling you that you're over speed. It's not too bad. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to be screaming down here for another one. Again, this is called Black Point Key, in case you're curious. Those of you who are trying to catch up to us, this is a Mike Yankee Echo Bravo that you're hitting up real quickly. This one's a little bit easier of a landing spot, if we can spot it, that is. Just kind of keep cruising around here. Again, I got my cruise flaps in the up position here to make it a little bit safer. There's your runway. This one's a little bit easier to land on. It's a bit longer than some of the early ones, but we haven't even gotten to the challenging one yet. Just kind of looking there. Yeah, you can see they've got all sorts of development here. So I'm looking out for the really, really big hotels, because that's how you know that it's a little bit more touristy. All right. Going to bring ourselves into a nice left traffic here. Pop those flaps down. And let's go ahead and bring it down onto the ground. I just can't get over how beautiful the water is. There are other flight simulators out here, but this one probably has the water as close as I remember it. Of course, we don't have all the cloudage and all the windage, but I'm not complaining too much. Look at this! This is going to be so much easier. I love how low altitude everything is here. It's not like you have to worry about flying into a mountain or anything like that. Not like Princess Juliana to the south of us. All right. A little bit of crosswind, but nothing too bad. Get ourselves right over the ground. Whoa. Sorry, wheels. All right, pull that nose up. I believe the Diamond 40 is going for as many landings on this runway as possible. Another Diamond 40. That was a good choice. Good choice. Bowing up. That's awesome. All right, our next runway is going to be a little bit shorter. It's also going to be a lot softer. It's going to be called Rudder Cut Key. It is a Mike X-Ray Yankee 7. Mike Yankee X-Ray 7. There we go. My flight plan on my leg here is read correct here. All right, going to get myself climbing up here. It looks like I'm getting blitzed again. That happens. Whoa, just got passed by a 208. Come on, man. I bet you I can pass him. Go. No, that was cheating. I'm sorry. He's probably like, how'd you get in front of me? All right, so now we have basically this very, very long island chain. There actually is another runway available on this island chain that we could stop by, but unfortunately it is not actually in the flight simulator itself. So as we're cruising along here, there's something called Farmer's Key, and that's basically going to be this island kind of to the south. There's a little tiny runway basically chilling right there in the end. It is, like I said, not the biggest thing ever. All right, go flip on nav mode. I'll let the autopilot take over for just a minute. I'm going to go flip up my cruise flaps, and I'm going to look behind me and whoa, man, look at that. I have not seen that many folks in one of our live streams in a while. It's great to see you all. See if I recognize any now. I recognize this guy. Now let's see who else we got here. Okay, I don't know. Red 5 Airways. Neat. That's a nice Star Wars knockoff there. Smoking Tire. I feel like I've seen them before. Got someone named Ted and a Diamond catching up to me there. Let's see what we got up front. Helter Skelter I've seen before. Fox Eds I feel like I've seen before. Nice. Really nice. Love it. And of course, I'm going to get buzzed by that Nebula again. But don't worry, I got a prize for them when they do it this time. All right, we're getting ourselves cruising. I can't believe how fast this aircraft is. I'm doing 130 knots right now. Eat that, Diamond. Now, one thing I like about this plane, other than the fact that it's got surprising speed for its size, is its fuel gauge consists of this little tiny little glass tube. It's basically a sight glass, and it reads off the liters and gallons on the side. And if you look over on this one, you can see we've been sucking a little tiny bit out of that tank, and it's actually slowly going down. And the other thing I really love about this aircraft, is the fact that you got these wonderful little tubes for, moving things around as far as fuel goes, but there's nothing in them. That makes me a little nervous, but I'm not complaining too much, I guess. All right. Taking a look behind us, so we got plenty of folks proceeding, like I said, along here. Like I said, in just a moment, there's a little teeny tiny, basically a smidge of what should be a runway on there. I don't exactly know. I believe, like I said, that's Farmer's Key. Feel free to give yourself a shot at that one. Now, the interesting thing here is even though this island's actually at a higher altitude than everything we've seen so far, there's not really any development on it. Like, there's no roads or anything like that. So I find that kind of unusual. I also notice there's not a lot of trees. That might be kind of a defect of Flight Simulator, but it does make me kind of consider, is the wind bad here? Looks like some snow hit here. TTC 70. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can find it. Kind of cruise around here, just looking around. Oh, I'm getting picked up. Ah, good choice for this. Great choice for this. No. Yeah, they come again. Nice, getting some solid formation flying there. Again, I can't believe how fast this thing is. I'm doing 126. I really got to slow down a little bit. Then we're going to have to switch fuel tanks in a minute. I love how the fuel pressure's in bar. That's just like, not mind-blowing, but just, oh, how about that? More than anything. I also love the avionics on here. Super duper easy to use. Let's look out my window here. Stick up my head. I'm going to use this as a picture. Haha. In case I need it for later. Oh, somebody else is sneaking up on me. Haha. Let me see if I can get a picture of both of those. Got it. How you doing, Raphaeloid? Oh, wait. This is kind of cool. Nicely done, by the way. Got to reduce the sensitivity on your pitch a little bit. Awesome. Okay. So, definitely. This is so cool. Again, I love doing this one. We get such a good turnout here. Plenty of folks back there. I also like the variety of airplanes. I'm sure we got a couple of the new Pipers that just came out from Just Flight as well. I was looking at it. I just felt it was just a touch expensive for what it was. But it did have that old school GPS on it, which more than probably will make up the cost. I'm actually going to look at my wing here. And this is where, by the way, that little cheesy tiny world's smallest little runway would basically be right here. You can actually see a little bit of where it would be. Yeah, right. Is that a pyramid? No, we're good. We're good. Cool. All right. We're going to be hitting our next destination. I'm just going to take a look at my avionics here. It's total time flight. I'm not worried about that too much. 17, 16 looks good. Everything is looking pretty good. I can actually pick up the speed a little bit, but I'm not supposed to be going past the yellow. Holding steady at 500 feet. Generally, you wouldn't fly this low because if there is a mistake, of course, we end up swimming. Now, interesting thing here is I did not bring my life vest, so any aircraft this is an interesting concept for you. If you're looking for pilot trivia, whenever you fly over water, the airplane engine goes to automatic rough, which is basically, for whatever reason, you constantly hear the engine kind of cutting out just a little bit. Maybe it's running a little not so smooth, and it's just your paranoia that sets in every time you fly over water because of how dangerous it is if you lose an engine. If I activate the parachute, I'm going to get basically tangled on the parachute. If I somehow manage to stick this thing into the water smoothly without doing a front flip, remember my gear don't retract, then that's fine too. How am I going to get this door open? You've run into all these little problems, and it starts all zooping through your head every single time you fly over any sort of significant stretch of water. Now, if you have another engine on board, you're a little less paranoid, but it's like, I swear, it hits you. It's funny. And no matter if you got your little safety boat, what safety boat? Or you've got your little float condition, stuff like that. Just interesting, that's all. All right. I'm going to look behind me. We got tons of folks. Somebody's creeping up on me here. I'm not sure who this is. Obviously, Cessna 172? It's a very fast-moving Cessna 172. Cool. We just passed away. This is Cave Key. It looks like a runway. I'm sure it is a runway, but it does not show up in Flight Simulator for whatever reason. Did you see something? I feel like the wake turbulence for that would flip us over. All right, so our next runway is, like I said, it's going to be at Rudder Cut Key Airport is the name of the airport. It is gravel. It is an east-west facing runway. Let's see if we can go ahead and get a look at it from where we are. It is not the most even runway, as you will see when we get to it. Again, just imagine getting your little tiny kayak. Oh, I see a shadow. Hey, how you doing, Maeve? Just imagine, you know, you got somebody basically in your little kayak, just kind of get kicking up. Every once in a while, bumping into the coral. It's just so amazing. And think of all the ships that have sunk here over the years, just sitting there underwater waiting for you to discover. All right, let's go ahead and do our landing. All right. This one's cool because if you mess this one up, you end up going swimming, but not the good swimming. All right, take us out just a little bit. I love the vertical speed indicator on this aircraft. It is so simple to use. Go ahead and take our left base here. Whoop. Got to keep control of the airplane here. We're going to go ahead and take a nice tight left base. This is very naughty from a pilot's perspective, but so is everything else we've done today, so deal. And look at that. There is our lovely runway ready to receive. Nice and easy. Yeah, I feel sorry for the people who approach from the other end. There's really big scary trees down there. Get a speed right around 55 knots, which is slow, but again, this is gravel. I believe we're going to get run into here, but that's all right. Hello there, sir. And nice and easy. Oh, that was not bad. Hey, I feel like I'm getting more practice here. All right, full power. Going up. Again, I just can't get over how light this airplane is. Like, I usually fly 4-seaters in the real world, but this is just like, just go. It's like a motorcycle. All right, now we're going to go head down to, this is called the Little Darby Island. And this one's cool because there's actually 2 sets of runways here. There's going to be a one on your right, and there's going to be a one straight ahead, which is the one we're going to be using. I'm going to be skipping the one on the right today because it's a little bit shorter. But at the same time, if you feel like landing on that one as well, knock yourselves out. You can actually see it. It's going to be right... I can't see through the airplane, of course. See if I can stick my head out the window real quick. It's going to be on this little island right here on the right. All right. Nose down. I see a bunch of folks have already started landing ahead of me, but that's perfectly fine. I love it. Wish I could kind of do one of these things. And there's the runway. Wait until you see how short this runway is. All right, looking carefully. I'm going to slow this plane way down. Is that a Cessna 208 on that runway? This runway, by the way, is 1,200 feet. So for those of you who are operating Cessnas or Pipers, keep in mind that your typical distance over 50 feet obstacles is usually right around 1,600 feet. So good luck to you. Luckily for me, I have a speed brake. I got this big handle. I can go ka-chunk, and it actually activates the world's tiniest speed brake on the wings to help reduce my speed a little bit here. Pop my flaps down. Generally, you never do speed brake and flaps together with an aircraft this small. That's generally unhealthy. This one's very sketchy, folks, so be very, very careful. There's not a lot of room here. Easy. Yeah, I'm doing 50 knots on the nose, trying to keep this thing as slow as possible. Don't hit the trees. The trees are very solid. Ooh, smoking tire. That's not going to go so well. All right, off I go. This is the Little Darby Island. I love this air traffic control tower here. This poor guy right here sitting there going, why is there 1,000 people showing up and landing on a 1,200-foot runway? How you doing? See ya. All right, so now we're going to be heading off to, this is called Lee Stocking Islands. And then we're going to be passing over a couple extra islands on the way here. It's going to be Young Island and Back Key as well. Whew. Now, if you want a slightly easier runway, believe it or not, the one over here is slightly longer. But again, let me take a look at how everybody behind us is doing. What's that? Isn't that great? I love that. I also love this little road here. Imagine doing a little morning jog along that. Go swimming. And on a really, really unrelated note, probably not that unrelated, does anybody else think it's weird that Disney created a Pirates of the Caribbean ride and then made a movie called Pirates of the Caribbean? I don't know, maybe I just find that weird. I don't know, maybe it's just me, most likely. As always, turn on navigation mode. I got a little bit of altitude underneath me this time. I'm going to go ahead and put my cruise flaps in the right position, back down my power a little bit to about 22 inches. Looks good. All right, we are doing great. And the interesting thing is these trees here, this is basically what it looks like from the air, but you get up against these. A lot of these are like extreme poison ivy trees and prickly peat trees, and you got all sorts of nasty snakes and stuff like that. But if we ever do anything way, way, way on the Pacific, you can imagine what that's going to be like too. All right, take a look at my nose here. Now, if you look, I don't know if I can make this one out very clearly. No, this one's going to be right over here. You can see you have a much, much, much bigger island coming up, and that's where we're cruising to today. I'm going to go ahead and flip my fuel tanks now. Generally, when you flip fuel tanks in a real plane, you always turn on the fuel pump for just a moment. But, of course, I can't remember where that switch is, so I'm not going to panic about that. I'm just going to come over here and go click, and that's all I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and see how close I actually am here. Let's see. My left, I got 11. My right, I have 12 or 13.9. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, our next runway will be much easier for those folks who tried that last one. It's going to be this runway right here. Basically, when you're going to land on this one, remember this is another soft field. If you're interested in joining Mookie, basically you go set your server to East USA. To do that, you just go boop like that, East USA, and you set all players in a multiplayer, and you can come join us at Mike Yankee X-Ray. I'm sorry, Mike Yankee X-Ray Echo. I was close. All right, let's do it to it. I'm gonna sneak up on this guy right here. I don't know how you're going so fast. This is such a neat set of islands. Whoop! Sorry, sir. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't have flashers on this one like you have in the big jets, so unfortunately I just have to deal. I think the TBM's got the flashers too. Got a really fun story at the Air Museum one time. The Coast Guard was nice enough to dedicate to us, it was an HU-25, I believe. It's basically a Dassault Falcon 50. And they gave it to us, and it everything worked. Like, literally, you could start the engine if you wanted to do, if you put gas in it. But they left the batteries, they left the oxygen and everything in there for us. And they said, all right, so, go ahead and do it as an open cockpit, let people kind of experience the airplane for themselves. And I was like, well, hello. So the first thing we did is we found the instruction manual, the POH for the airplane. And even though we knew nothing about that particular model, we were able to get the flaps to deploy. We got all the radios to work. We got the INS to fire up. And the best part, though, was flashing the headlights on it. Because it was one of those things where we tried to get little kids to panic by suddenly making the airplane come alive when they didn't know there was somebody inside of it. Those were fun times. Of course, when the admin found out that we'd been playing around with their brand new airplane that's supposed to be a museum, they kind of took everything away from us. But we had a pretty fun time while it lasted. All right. Let's go ahead and slow down. I think everybody's caught up to me at this point. This is awesome. Go ahead and get myself lined up. Oh, I don't like those trees at all. Actually, got to come a little to the left of the runway here and kind of swing into it, because that's going to be way too steep for us. Nope, just got past. I think everybody passed me this time. That's all right, though. Nice and easy. Whoa, there's a tree there. And I do have good speed brakes on this thing, but I can't get between those trees. All right, we're just going to kind of have to glider this in. Nose down. Whoa. Speed brake out. Whoop. Nice. All right, flaps full power. I'm going to give myself enough to rip this thing into the sky. Flaps up, and off we go. All right, our next position is going to be Exuma International Airport. This is the big island, and this is going to be, like I said, this is Exuma. This is a very popular tourist location. It's going to be our terminus if you're looking for something a little bit fancier. As usual, though, we'll find something really, really dangerous to try to land on right after we stick the thing on the ground and answer questions. Go ahead and lift that nose up nice and easy. Get up to about 500 feet. Whoa, a little light in the seat there. Again, I love this thing. It's just so, so easy to fly this plane. And yes, I do have a track IR, but I have two monitors stacked, so it's very difficult to make it work. All right, looks good, right? About 120 knots. Feels pretty good. Let's see how everybody else is doing behind us here. Ah! Look at how many people there are. That's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. You guys make this so worth it. So, so, so worth it. I think I just got... I know that aircraft. That's a G91. Good choice. Good choice. You're going to have a real fun time landing at this. Actually, this next airport, anybody can land at. You could be in a 747 and safely put down on it. All right, cruising along here. Look at see my notes. Look down at my leg here. Let's see. I think there's what's called the Terra Island is coming up on the right. Using a different ID. I can't see. No, same ID as always. Sorry, everybody, you just passed me. I'm right off your port wing. I think he's got the automatic pilot on as well. Look at how many people are back there. Now, if you really want to see something fun, now we should probably one of these days do these completely on VATSIM so we can absolutely torment those controllers. That guy's got the right idea. Can't see what livery it is, but it's going up. Nice. Like I said, one of these days we got to do all fighter jets or something like that. And if you don't have a fighter jet, just take the CJ. It'll be fine. Just make sure you shut damage off so we don't shear the wings or anything like that. Look at this perfection right here. That is amazing. And let's see what we got right here. Just taking a look around. That is awesome. And I believe I'm being followed. Call it a hunch. Oh, somebody's sneaking up on me there. I love the little air intake on this aircraft. Like this little tiny nose right here. That's just so awesome. Ah, see, I was thinking about this plane. I was just afraid it was going to be too fast. This is in the Caribbean. We're just coming up on Exuma, if you're looking for specifically where this is. And again, it's just a very, very long island chain, and there's tons of little tiny islands to take off and land from, which just makes it so much fun. And obviously, we've just been landing at the airports. There's nothing stopping us from landing everywhere else. All right, Exuma is, like, as you can see, looking right out the wind, this is a huge, huge island. You know, this is like kind of like an Nassau kind of a thing. So we're basically going to skim up the coastal highway, and then we're going to put ourselves down at the international airport. And then we'll just do some really, really dangerous stuff over on the right, and we'll call it a day. And again, we'll be doing this again this evening. This evening, we're going to be flying in the Marianas, if you're looking for something a little bit different. And again, with the Marianas, since they're so far apart, we're going to take jets just to be able to do this quickly. I know this looks like I'm a perfect formation flyer, but the automatic pilot's doing all the work for me here. Hey, how do you do? Yep, we've been doing these since, I think, October, I want to say. Whoa, somebody's sneaking up on me here. Oh, whoa. And see, that's good control sensitivity. That's not twitchy at all. A little nerve-wracking to watch, though. Hey there. All right. Everybody ready? Cracking my fingers. As always, we'll get our big old group picture once we get down on the ground. Now, the interesting thing is most of my live streams, we've always concentrated on flying in mountains. I think this is the first time we've flown when there are no mountains. This is really weird. All right, I believe, let me see here. The main highway here is called the Queens Highway. And if you can find it, then you're going to have no difficulty getting down here. Yep, I don't know. I don't want to be a non-expert here. I don't live here, so I don't want to be get this terribly wrong here. I think that's this one right here. But we'll do that this afternoon. This evening, rather. And there is our international airport coming up in just a minute. It's right over here. Look at the level of development compared to all the other islands that we've checked along so far. Whoa! I think I just got buzzed. Alrighty, let's go ahead now and get ready for our official land. Oh, is that a G91 attempting to keep pace with me? Or am I trying to keep pace with the G91? Good luck, sir. Good luck. That's a great... This is a cool plane, by the way. I'm not allowed to make comments on the quality of things. I'm just going to say that this particular aircraft is one of the only paywares I actually own, which I think is actually kind of interesting. Now, I saw that F-15. I saw the CRJ that just came out. I was super excited with it. I think that's going to be a little bit while before I even try to touch that or try to do videos on it. They already got some really, really good ones for it already. All right, look at these. We got a little bit of actual agriculture here. Whoa! What is that? Does this say Kenmore Air on it? Oh, yeah, that's right. They gave us that patch. So if you see some choppiness, don't be surprised. I think everybody's going to be experiencing that in a minute once we start getting all the photogrammetry in. This is so cool. Nice job, everybody. Nice job. Is this a Diamond 20? Wow. All right, we'll go ahead and continue here. Again, I'm enjoying my automatic pilot here. We could buzz some trees. We got a VL3. This is what I was going to fly, because this thing is really, really fast. But I wanted to do the Virus because, you know, carbon fiber, obviously. I also love these goofy flaps on here. Actually, got to go borrow my GPS for just a second here. I really wish you had the menu button that worked on this thing. That would make my life much simpler. Doesn't even give me anything here. Let's go ahead and call up air traffic. No, I'm fine. All right, waiting to see the amount of development in about 2 seconds here. Again, there's that highway. Like I said, if anybody gets lost, just find the highway. You literally can't get unlost as long as you can stay on that main coastal highway that basically links up. I think it actually has 4. This is the East USA server. I'm flying the Virus. This is the Pepestrel. I've called it the Virus about 1,000 times until somebody who sold the things corrected me. I mentioned that earlier. And again, we're just sort of enjoying this really nice... Hey, how you doing? Man, you are a really, really good formation pilot. Nicely done, Raffaello. Is that a golf course? Oh, imagine like staying at one of these hotels and watching the sun come up really, really early in the morning coming from... Oh, it's so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Interesting. It's one of those military air bases that they automatically block out so we can't see it. What do we got here? That looks like... the propeller's not spinning. Happens. Let's take a look. Oh my gosh, look behind us! Is that a TBM? I don't know if you can fly me this slow. Don't look behind us, but I think we're being followed. All right, folks, get ready to land. Okay, so looking out, this is our handy-dandy airport. I'm going to fly a traffic pattern for this one properly this time, just because, I've been pretty naughty this entire flight so far. So I'm just going to cross, go left, 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 go ahead and put the thing down on the ground. We are currently located at Exuma International Airport. I believe I got to go, well, I got to look it up. It's up at the tippy top of things. Mike Yankee Echo Foxtrot is going to be the actual name of everything. All right. I feel like we're missing some houses here. One of these days we got to fly in Russia too. I just got to find the best spot. It's a pretty big country. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the controls away from Mr. Pilot, Autopilot, Autovon Pilot. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my fuel supply here. Yeah, we're going to stay on the right fuel tank. I think I'm still on the right fuel tank. Yep. Nice. Check my altimeter settings. Looks good. I believe I'm getting some wash from somebody because it's kicking my nose around quite a bit. This is the world's naughtiest traffic pattern here. Go ahead and come swinging this way. Let's see who's already landed down here. There's going to be no room for us, but this is where we're going to taxi to for anybody who's interested in a little group photo at the end. We're going to be right down there. All right, let's go ahead and enter our traffic pattern. Again, normally fly a traffic pattern at 1,000 feet AGL, but we're going to keep it nice and low today. Flip the nose. First notch of flaps comes in. Level us off. And let's get ready to land. Man, that is a very well-worn runway 30 right there. Nice. Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. Yes, that is like... It is primordial is the best way to describe that part of the world. It's volcanoes, it's frozen, it's not habited, it's incredible. That's the Kamchatka Peninsula. It's basically, go to Japan and go north, you can't miss it. All right, moving on this way. Gonna go ahead and take our nice little left traffic pattern here and come swinging on in. You got the right idea. I think you turned a little early, though. I fly in all sorts of countries, to be honest. Usually I try to pick something a little different. Ancestry-wise, obviously I'm an American, but my family's all from Eastern Europe. There we go. Looks good. Looks good. Really what we need to do is fly in the Middle East. We haven't done that yet. This will be our last landing. We'll do some Q&A for anybody interested, and then we'll try to do a dangerous landing on another little runway. I'm not going to lie, after all those other landings, like this is like too much runway for me. It's making me anxious. He took an actual approach. I just got passed. I don't like these trees in the way of the runway. I feel like they should all be displaced thresholds if the trees are that close to the end. We'll be having a stream this evening at 7 EDT. That's going to be 1900 EDT. I should be a little more specific. Usually we do it every 2 weeks. I think we've been pretty much consistent. So our next 2 weeks from now, again, I'll be taking some ideas from everybody once we get a little bit closer. Nose up just a little bit. Oh, kissed the ground. Delightful. Now, the not so cool part about aircraft this small is you are so light to the ground. When you do hit that, you can really feel it right in your pants. All right, let's go ahead and now pull off here. And I'm going to go ahead and park the airplane over on the right. Sorry, I'm blocking the runway here. All right, let me go ahead and kill my landing light. I don't need that anymore. It looks pretty good. Looks like we got an amazing turnout this week. Unbelievable. Hopefully everybody had a really, really good flight. All right. Oh my gosh, look at that. Go ahead, swing around. I just love getting these little pictures. Good for you. I love it. We've done Brazil. I also want to do Chile at some point. Yeah, especially the Andes Mountains. But I hate to say this. Microsoft desperately needs a 1930s or 1940s Brumbly twin engine something. Because when I think of those locations around the world, all I can think of is those like constellations, you know, the wow, oh my gosh, I can't figure what it is off the top of my head. There's really, really old school Boeings, really, really old school Corvairs. There's basically rumbling around those mountain tops with like the misty tops and all that ancient stuff. All right, I'm going to go ahead and swing myself around. Woo. Go ahead and activate my parking brake here. Let's see how many people I can get my shot. It's great. All right, I got some folks. Everybody's kind of rolling in here. Come on, pack in, pack in. It's like every group picture ever, somebody has to say, squeeze together more, squeeze together more, squeeze together. I swear, it's like every single time. Let's see how anybody's doing with the landing. So, everybody's coming. I'll wait for everybody. And then we'll go do something kind of nice and dangerous. I know that there's a little teeny tiny... Yeah, Rodrigo, you exactly have the right idea. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Hang on, I got to zoom out enough that I can get everybody. This is the most people we've had in like 2 months. This is awesome. Love it, folks. Again, you're the reason why I do these things. I'm going to go bring some folks up right here. And I got this little guy right there. Let's try to get that blue plane in. Oh, no. He's got to move in just a teeny tiny bit more. There we go. Pack him in. Hey, our Cessna 208 made it. I'm so impressed. There's my photo right there. Great group photo, everybody. Great group photo. Thank you so much for joining us today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go, I always like to do a little encore dangerous thing. There is a little tiny island not far from here. And I'm going to attempt to land this plane on it. I did get our shot, by the way. I'll go ahead and I'll post that with the stream when I do finish up later on. So there's a little tiny island just to the north, and I see it on my little scope there. And I'm going to do something really dangerous and attempt to land on it anyway, even though I really shouldn't. There we go. Great group shot, everybody. So question for everybody, is there anything anybody's looking for that I haven't covered? There's going to be a lot of really, really hardcore intermediate navigate-y stuff, as you probably saw from Friday's videos. Like I said, I'm going to continue going with that for at least 2-3 weeks. So folks who like to take things up to the next level in their own flying will have an opportunity to kind of see how serious you can get with some of those calculations. But again, I love that stuff, so... All right, so I'm going to try to land on this incredibly teeny tiny island. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm certainly going to try. I mean, I might be able to do it. Let's find out. Let's find out. Of course, all the tourists on the beach are going to be looking up at me as to do it. So as usual, does anybody have any questions on anything aviation related? I can make that work. All right. I don't see any questions, which is awesome. Again, if you're interested in... Oh, I got a question. Oh, I'm the virus today. I can make this landing. This isn't so bad. I'm doing below stall speed right now. Oh, I thought this island was going to be a lot smaller than it turned out to be. Oh, I'm disappointed. Got it. Oh! Love it. All right, I'm taking a look to make sure there's no other further questions. I'm sure a couple people are going to try to take a crack at this just because they can, but that's fine. Looking out for any future questions. Again, like I said, we'll be continuing with some of that kind of fancy stuff like performance, fuel planning, and navigation, and things along those lines. Okay, what aircraft are you flying? So this is the Pipestro Virus. This is one of the deluxe aircraft that comes with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's really cool. It's like the CTSL. Let's see here. What aircraft do you like the light? I was wondering when we're starting later. We're doing Saipan, Garapan International Airport this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. Hello, from your own experience, what's the most accurate method of calculating top of descent? Let me see here. Most accurate method of calculating top of descent. So when it comes to top of descent, you've got to do, I use the standard method. I basically take my distance from it, whatever my altitude is, multiply by 3. So if I'm at 10,000 feet, I'm going to have to go, it's going to take me 30 miles to go ahead and get myself down. Usually what I like to do is I like to take into account any sort of headwind or tailwind. Obviously, if you have a tailwind that is a quarter of your cruise speed, it takes a quarter more in order to descend, or a quarter less, I should say, and vice versa. So as long as you can kind of think of it as in terms of percentage of cruise speed, you're always going to be able to do it. If you really want to get serious as far as, I can't believe everybody got here. Nice job, everybody. So in terms of, if you want to get more technical with that, basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to calculate your average rate of descent against your average cruise speed and basically do the division. So if you notice that you can give up 3 nautical miles for every 5 miles that you travel, you simply use that as a ratio to calculate it. Again, I can do a little more specific stuff. Let's see here. Do helicopters need a run-up? They need a warm-up. My experience is, I've only flown helicopters in the real world, I mean, very, very little. Very, very little, so I'm not an expert, believe me. And in my experience with those folks of helicopters is basically after you start the engine, you're basically going to let it sit there and kind of warm up a little bit before you rev it up to the speed and actually engage the clutch and get everything going. And again, that's if you're flying something like a Robinson R22. I can't speak to the people in gas turbines. If I had to guess, there's probably no run-up. Let's see here. Next question. Not a question, but looking forward to your new planning tutorials. Excellent, Wanderer. Like I said, I love that stuff. It's going to get mathy. It's going to get heavy. But when you do it well and you do it right, it's the most satisfying sensation, at least in my opinion. I think we need another. This is great. Everybody just kind of showed up. All right, I'm looking to see if there's any other question. I don't know if I like this picture or the other picture better. I kind of want to hang on to both of them. I really need to use drone view, I know. None of these airports are add-on. There is a free helicopter for MSFS, and I really want to try it. I think it's a Eurocopter or something like that. And there's also a, oh my God, I'm going to get this wrong. It's like a C-47. No, it can't be a C-47. There's a little tiny Bell 1950s doohickey that's coming out as well that I noticed. I definitely have to check that out. All right, let's see if I can get that blue picture in here. Since everybody somehow got to this little tiny one. I didn't think it was. Let me make sure my code is correct. I'm going to look really, really fast before we call it. MYEF. All right, other than that, if there are no other last questions for the order, thank you everybody so much for coming back today. Again, I love these flights. We're going to be doing this tonight. Like I said, 1900 EDT. We're going to be flying from Garapan all the way down to Guam. We're going to be doing that in the CJ. Otherwise, in about 2 weeks or so, we'll be going ahead and doing another one of these. I have some ideas. We really need to do the Middle East well. So I have a couple different ideas for how to approach that. And we're definitely going to check that out when we get there. Where do you announce? Oh, my stuff all gets... I announce all my stuff on my community page. So if you go to my YouTube and hit my channel, it has like the community section. I post everything pretty much once or twice a week. All right. If there are no further concerns, time to end this plane. No, I'm glad everybody had some fun today. And like I said, it was great to see an excellent turnout. I haven't seen too many crazy numbers of folks in a while. All right. Going down. Oh no, it's not going to be water this time. Ah, kaboosh. Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy.